a lot of people are worried that if something does happen to Donald Trump, J.D. Vance would become president, which is what would happen, and that somehow he would be worse than Donald Trump. However, he doesn't have the same hold over the MAGA base, over politicians, etc., and he can't help himself but say the dumb thing out loud. And he is not as charismatic as Donald Trump. Now, earlier in the week, there was a small boat, appeared to be like a fishing boat or something like that, very small, that was supposedly traveling from Venezuela to the United States. And according to this administration, it was full of cartel members smuggling illegal substances. Now, this administration destroyed that boat with no due process, no investigation, or anything like that. And a lot of people are saying that that is a war crime, and it probably is. It's probably some violation of international laws. You sunk a vessel in international water that contained citizens of a foreign country without any sort of investigation. You didn't stop them and try to seize anything. There were other ways you could have gone about what you were doing, but you sunk the boat instead. Well, J.D. Vance went to Twitter and said, sinking vessels full of cartel members, bringing illegal substances into our country is the best use of our military. And somebody else responded with, well, no, we call that a war crime. And he responded to that with, well, you can call it what you want. I don't care. Or something along those lines. I don't remember the exact wording. He should care, because if it is a war crime, there can be charges brought in the International Criminal Court. And when he would ever leave this country, and he's taken a lot of vacations already this term as president or vice president. He hasn't even made it to president yet. He's taken like 8 vacations. If there are charges filed with the International Criminal Court when he's outside of the U.S., he could face arrest and charges in the International Criminal Court. And that immunity decision from the Supreme Court only applies to the president, not the vice president. Beyond that, that also only applies to U.S. law. That doesn't apply to international law. And typically, we don't want to be associated with committing war crimes. We think of that as the regimes of dictators, and those are the types of governments we would take efforts to not associate with, to change or anything. But according to J.D. Vance, it's just fine. It's business as usual. It's not. And that's why if he were to take over for Donald Trump, I'm not as worried, because he's nowhere near as smart. And that's saying a lot, because Donald Trump isn't very smart either.